Welcome to Accelerated Velocity, the podcast that helps you move faster, smarter, and more strategically in the rapidly evolving world of AI. We'll break down the latest AI news and innovations and explore how they impact your marketing, sales, and business growth. We'll dive into practical use cases, unpack new tools, and cut through the noise so you and your team can adapt with confidence. I'm Grace Matthews, Director of Content at Inbound AV, a business development agency and HubSpot solutions partner dedicated to driving sustainable business growth. Each week, I'll be here with Peter Malik, our CEO and founder. Join us as we make sense of what's changing and what to do about it. Hello, welcome to episode 3 of the Accelerated Velocity podcast. I'm Grace, the Director of Content at Inbound AV, and I'm here with our CEO and founder, Peter.
Hey, Grace. How are you? How's the week been in AI? Oh, I already know how it's been.
Yeah, as expected, a lot of new updates. There's some movement with some pretty integral updates on ChatGPT. So that'll be exciting to dig into a little bit. I know last week we talked about kind of wading through the hype with everything that's constantly developing with AI. So today we've really tried to distill that down into some pivotal changes that are going to be affecting businesses of all kinds.
All right, I am going to take the opposite tact of what I actually said last week. And that was like, don't pay attention to any shiny new objects, but things are advancing at such a pace that I think there are shiny new objects that are worth taking a look at. It's just really incredible, the pace of change, even in the last week or 10 days.
Absolutely. I think most importantly, too, if you're working at an organization that is already exercising some use of AI tools, whether it's a ChatGPT account or certain agentic AI within your organization, to be up to date on the updates that are happening with that specific software so that you can be fully maximizing all of the features that are available to you, as well as using the tools responsibly. So let's jump into a couple of pretty pivotal updates with ChatGPT that came out this week. So firstly, ChatGPT has updated its memory feature to have a new all-time memory functionality. Previously, ChatGPT had memory stored within the independent chats that you might be having with it. Now the memory expands across all of your chats. So ChatGPT will actually be able to draw on previous conversations that it's had with you to produce what it claims to be more accurate and relevant responses to conversations that you might be having with it. Peter, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think, first of all, I hesitate to jump to conclusions as far as like some of the repercussions, like are there security repercussions? Are there privacy repercussions? And I think that, you and I had chatted a little bit about the need for someone to, if they have a personal ChatGPT account and they have one at their company, with this particular new feature, it would be a really good idea to keep those separate and be sure that they're kept separate. And that would definitely fall on the privacy side of things. But I'm excited about it. I think that that's been a shortcoming, and it really opens up a lot of possibilities as far as just really teaching the agent exactly, or teaching ChatGPT exactly what you're wanting to get out of it.
Absolutely. I think from a marketing perspective, this is exciting, especially if you're thinking about content marketing and strategy, that you can interact with ChatGPT in a way that is training it to understand the voice of your organization and how to develop content and marketing plans that fit in with the identity of your company. I did want to mention, though, quickly, and this has been the case since the advent of ChatGPT, just a reminder not to share any proprietary information with ChatGPT or any other LLM, whether that's a personal account or a business account. But that being said, there are some really, really great opportunities for marketers with this new feature.
Absolutely. And I think along with that, there's been this release of the search function of ChatGPT is going to learn about you and learn about what you want and basically change what you're searching for to be more tailored to what they know about you.
Yeah, so I just want to give a quick example of how this might play out so people can kind of visualize what this means and what the implications are. Again, coming back to that all-time memory feature that was just released, this feature is now going to be used to also basically rewrite the way that different search terms are phrased when you type them into ChatGPT for any search that is going to require the LLM to search the web to produce a result. This might be used to understand information about where you're located and what your preferences are. So I'm just going to give a quick shout out to this article on TechCrunch by Kyle Wiggers. He gives a great example of somebody searches for what are some good restaurants near me. ChatGPT might know that this user has a preference for vegan food based on prior conversations that they've had and where this user is located. And ChatGPT will then rewrite that question into something like good vegan restaurants in San Francisco. Search the web with that specific search phrase and then produce information back. So it's not going to be exactly searching for answers with the words that you've given it, but from the way that they've explained it, the goal is to be enhancing those searches basically to be more relevant.
And what do you think about that?
I am still developing some thoughts about that, and I'll tell you why. Because I think that this has some potentially really huge implications on the way that we conceive of SEO. I know that, Peter, you and I have talked a lot about SEO and how it's kind of becoming something different with AI. AI is now like an integral feature of ranking, whether you're searching on ChatGPT or you're searching on Google and you're getting AI overviews at the top of the page. But I think with this idea of ChatGPT now basically doing searches for you when you're engaging on ChatGPT with your account, that changes not just the search terms that are being used, but the actual way that we conceive of different websites being visible online and how people are getting their information.
That's my main concern. Is like a company like ours or any company that's using ChatGPT to check out their own profile online visibility or their competitors' visibility online, those results I feel are going to be skewed by this new feature. Now, there's probably a workaround, but it's definitely a consideration as you use ChatGPT in your organization for more than just straight search results, but to get an idea of how things are working for, again, yourself, a client, the world in general.
So you can turn the memory-assisted search feature off on ChatGPT, which I think is an important thing for people who maybe just don't want that feature. They want to be making their own authentic searches and get direct information back. But I think to your point, it's also important to consider that possibility in terms of just playing around with the platform and testing things out if you're curious on seeing how people might be getting responses back to searches within ChatGPT that are relevant to the services that you provide.
Yeah, and that's actually interesting because in that case, you could sort of A/B test what ChatGPT's learned search, how that contrasts with turning that feature off.
So I want to bring up one more piece of news, which is Shopify's most recent position on AI. Have you heard about this, Peter?
No.
So basically, Shopify's CEO, and I'll give another shout out to Mike Kaput from Marketing AI Institute, who wrote a great article on this. Shopify's CEO came out and made a new directive to Shopify employees that if they want to expand any team or hire new staff, any Shopify employee in that position is going to have to justify why AI can't be taking on that workload first. So this is a huge precedent in the way that organizations work and likely the way that a lot of other, especially larger tech organizations might be going. I think there are a lot of implications of this to crack open. But one thing that this brought to mind for me is the importance of AI literacy for anybody, no matter what position you're working in, because you might be placed in a position in the near future where you need to understand what AI tools are available within your industry or within your specialty, even if you're not necessarily using them or being required to use them at the present moment.
I think that's an amazing point. And it's definitely a consideration. Everybody needs to be paying attention to this. And anybody who is doing their job well and is motivated, dedicated, they have the potential to create a job for themselves in the future, because the job they have right now may in fact not exist. That could be the best thing that ever happened to someone.
Yeah, I think you have a point too, is that for a lot of different specialties, to put a positive spin on it, this can open up opportunities to get a lot more creative with the work that's being done or just expand capabilities.
I agree.
So, Peter, now that we've covered a distilled version of some of the most pressing AI news impacting business development this week, what else is on your mind? What should we be thinking about right now in terms of AI usage?
Just to pivot for a minute, I noticed that HubSpot Breeze Intelligence, their AI, has a bunch of new releases this past week, and some of them look very, very powerful. And we're developing our own HubSpot app to do some of these data enhancement functions, very specific functions. And it's interesting for me to see how Breeze Intelligence is approaching it and also how we're approaching it. And it's interesting because even though technologically they might be able to replace what we're doing, the specifics of how we go at it, I think is going to be more attractive to a certain subset of people and companies. I think it's just really interesting to look at specifics in what's the best solution for your needs with AI. And it may be the most feature-laden, shiniest new object, but again, it may be something that's more tailored to your particular use case. And that's, solutions like that can be customized and not necessarily using Breeze Intelligence within HubSpot.
I think that's an important thing for people to look out for, considering that there may be features with other AI tools that you have access to that you have the opportunity to actually integrate into your CRM or other areas of your tech stack.
Yeah, and I think, kudos to HubSpot of having a platform where they do have this vital app ecosystem where anybody can build an app within HubSpot. It has to be approved to be put on the marketplace, but nevertheless, it even appears that HubSpot is welcoming the competition on this. And I don't know if we've talked about this before, but I consume a lot of YouTube videos about the bright new shiny objects. And the thing that I noticed a couple months ago is that many of these content creators around AI are being sponsored by HubSpot. And some of them are not really talking about HubSpot features at all. They're talking about Gemini. They're talking about ChatGPT. And so I think just the attitude of HubSpot is like, okay, we want to be a thought leader. And if that means promoting products that we're not selling directly, then that's okay, because we're looking for the best outcome for our customers. And so I have to respect that. And that's one of the reasons why we are proud to be part of the HubSpot ecosystem.
Absolutely. And I think HubSpot's been about that for a long time in terms of, striving to be a platform that does provide a lot of in-house comprehensive customer experience solutions, while at the same time offering a plethora of opportunities for integration of, whatever app and software you might want to be using. And not only are there a ton of apps on the app marketplace, but there are also opportunities for custom integration, which I think suit a lot of businesses that might have unique or intricate needs in terms of how they might need different parts of their tech stack to be speaking to one another.
Yeah, no, totally agree. And actually, we do a lot of that work of stuff that's very, very specific to a particular use case. And I think at least where we're at right now, doing that one-on-one with a company that can customize is a preferred route. That's not to say it's going to be that way next year, but I think that's still where we're at now.
So I'm curious how you see that changing or potentially expanding with AI in the picture. Inbound AV has been a HubSpot partner for a long time, and we also communicate and have relationships with other HubSpot partners. Do you see integrated AI tools becoming a core service of different partners' offerings?
Yeah, I do. And I think that HubSpot is encouraging that. I think we all realize that AI is with us. It's going to offer incredible opportunities. It's also going to offer incredible challenges for a wide range of businesses. And you could go down the list. Marketing, certainly. Legal. Legal could be totally disrupted by various AI tools. And the list goes on. It is just so much. I was actually talking to an advisor that I have actually, and he was telling me a story of a company that they're a pest control company and they're trying to sell themselves. So they were looking to like shore up their books so that they're showing a better return, as far as the company profitability, bottom line, et cetera. And so this advisor basically used AI to figure out to create an agent that would route the pest control vehicles based on what's most efficient. So in other words, rather than going like this, right, you're going like, a straight line. And that alone, that use of AI to help with that task increased their profit by 18%. It's really like stunning potential for savings. And something like this, it's not costing anybody a job at all. It's helping people get done with their day faster a little bit, but that's it. But the whole goal was to increase their profit margins so they can sell their company for more money. And I'll reiterate one thing that I said last week, which is if you have specific needs right now within your organization for AI to help with your CRM, to help with like taking care of repetitive tasks, etc., then I wouldn't pay attention to what's going on that much. I'd get the job done. I get it started. Iteration is going to be the name of the game as this thing develops, but start using it, start taking advantage of it.
Yeah, that's a great point. And with that said, I think this concludes our episode for this week since we are at time. Peter, thanks for taking the time out of your day to chat about this.
Absolutely. I think it covers all the updates that people are willing to listen to in one sitting. Is more like it. But yeah, thanks, Grace. And we'll do this again soon.
Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. If you like what you heard, please make sure to give Accelerated Velocity a follow on whatever platform you're listening on. And of course, a positive review is always much appreciated. We'll see you next week.